Singapore Island Country Club is about 300,000 starting. And starting because there is literally a market for buying and selling memberships. There are companies that deal in trading memberships. It's almost like a form of investment. Golf also, I think, is getting a bit more popular because, to be honest, it's getting thirsty.
You speaking for yourself or what?
Okay, I have chanced upon thirsty golf posts on social media.
Oh, chanced upon.
Chanced upon. I have chanced upon.
Do you feel they've been very effective in changing wave?
Giveaway Glenda, back down Benny, hush hush Hannah. What the fuck did hush hush Hannah do?
And I've seen it a lot in Japan. Like, they approach you and then they're like, oh, sumimasen, like that. And they come like that and then sumimasen, then they'll like tell you, you cannot do this. And I found it a very effective and passive-aggressive way of like just telling you to shut the fuck up.
If you love this podcast, chances are you value real conversation. The kind that's honest, emotional, and stays with you. Now imagine a conversation like that about someone you love. That's what we do with our audio service called Folklory. We hop on a 30-minute call with you or someone you choose and turn that conversation into a beautifully crafted, personalized podcast for your loved one. A gift that shows them how much they mean to you and how much you appreciate them, which they can listen to forever. And we guarantee that it'll be one of the most meaningful things you have ever given them. Because we'll use everything we've learned from interviewing more than 1,000 people across 20 countries over the past 5 years, including the Prime Minister of Singapore. And if you want to make it extra special, add on our limited edition Folklory speaker, styled as an old school cassette tape, so they can play their story anytime, anywhere. All the details are on folklory.com or reach out to us on WhatsApp at the link in the show notes. So hope you can check it out because we'd love to help you create something unforgettable. And now, on to the podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news with a touch of what, Terrence?
Good old humor.
Good old humor, man.
Yeah.
Good old humor.
Well, there's rain out there today.
Yeah.
Really intense, huh?
Yeah, everywhere, man, everywhere.
Yeah. And I even did the whole, like, wow, I got to prepare to go out because, like the umbrella and change of clothes and everything.
Wait, you prepared a change of clothes?
Yeah, because it was that heavy. I was kind of confident that my pants would be wet if I wore long pants. So I brought a change of clothes and everything.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So after this, you're going to change your pants?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah. Professional.
I saw you come in shorts today. I was like, interesting. Because we got a few meetings in the afternoon.
Exactly.
I thought you rolling like that.
I plan ahead.
Oh, you plan ahead.
It's exactly what we asked for, right? You want 4 seasons in Singapore, is like that, right? You gotta prepare to go out and face the elements and all.
Yeah, because
so, quite fun also, just packing all the stuff, getting ready.
Oh, is it? But you pack in the morning, lah.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, yesterday was damn hot, right?
Yeah, it was quite warm. Yeah.
Wow, but today is everywhere, like north, south, east, west.
Yeah.
Interesting, lah.
So yeah, can't complain about weather. I like it like that.
Yeah. I mean, I finally brought an umbrella with me. Yeah, so now I'm going to have it as a permanent fixture in my bag.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. But yeah.
That's it, folks. That's what Yellow Butt talks about.
Please follow us, like and subscribe if you want more weather updates.
Yeah. But I mean, quite relevant because we're talking about stuff people do outdoors and everything as well.
Exactly. Right? Setting context, guys.
Correct. Climate change.
And we do have 2 things to talk about. One of which is more outdoors than the other.
Yeah.
But before that, what's the spiel, Terrence?
If you're new to the podcast, please like, share, follow, and most importantly, subscribe to get more updates about what we do. We release 3 podcasts a week, and we're available on Spotify and YouTube.
And now we have to differentiate the term subscribe because there's a newsletter you can subscribe to.
That's right, yeah.
Called Your Little Bit,
yes.
Which is our weekly roundup of our One Shiok Things and the first dibs info on anything new that we are launching. Which we are something very soon tomorrow, launching that. And and if you want to work with us, you can email us at contact@ministryoffunny.com or reach out, just drop us a message at ministryoffunny.com.
Yep.
We've been getting a healthy stream of inbound emails and all.
Yeah.
Which is great. Always great to read.
I think people want to talk to us, to reach out to us.
Or want us to talk about certain things they want to talk about.
Yeah, I would really invite people to go to our subreddit and have conversations there because people are going there and having very detailed conversations and discussions there. Right?
Exactly. A third space.
Yes.
Cool, man.
But
awesome.
Speaking of spaces.
Spaces.
Yes.
So there is the news that 6 golf courses in Singapore will not have their leases renewed when they expire over the next 10 years, as the land will be set aside for other uses such as housing. So it was announced on Monday, 7th July, by the Ministry of Law, which was a bit odd. I was like, why is Ministry of Law involved? But because they oversee land policy.
Okay.
And this has to do with the government kind of taking back the land to use for other purposes.
Yeah.
Like potentially housing, a golf course for that could be used by the NTUC for its members, because the Orchid Country Club, which is NTUC's Orchid Country Club, I didn't know that until today, will not be renewed. But yeah, so I mean, there are 16 golf courses now. So in the next few years, it'll be down to 10. And then there'll be a couple more built.
Yeah, that's right.
So the new steady state will be 12. So of course, if you go online, got a lot of comments that you would expect. But there have also been a few articles talking about the negative aspect of it.
Yeah.
But what about you? Like, do you even golf, Terence?
No, I don't. We have tried it a couple of times, but not regularly. Yeah. You?
I've only tried a driving range.
Okay.
Which is fun. You just go there and whack the ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, not an actual golf like hole.
But you never done like, we've done like the mini golf before.
Correct.
Golf, yeah. But that one is not really golfing. It's just drinking and having a good time. Right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. We've done mini golf. I mean, there was a mini golf bar/club in Clarke Quay up till a few years ago.
Oh yeah,
I went to that also, where they literally serve alcohol, and it's like a club lah.
Yeah.
It's like a game center kind of thing, but it's no longer there. But yeah, not a full-on golf course with like polo t-shirt and all of that.
Yeah. But I mean, everyone online is like saying, "What? We still have 12 golf courses?"
Yeah.
That's the general response it's been, and people are dancing on the graves of these golf courses.
Yeah, because I mean, for context, only one of the 16 is public. I didn't even know there was a public golf course. Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did? The rest of them are membership only. And of course, there are some with ridiculous membership fees. I think the most expensive is Sentosa, where it starts at 450K membership. And if you're a foreign corporate, it's 1.1 million.
Yeah.
Singapore Island Country Club is about 300,000 starting. And starting because there is literally a market for buying and selling memberships.
Yeah.
There are companies that deal in trading memberships.
Yeah.
So when I was kind of reading up on like why people actually buy a membership, it's almost like a form of investment.
That's right. The price can appreciate.
The price can appreciate. Of course, it can also depreciate.
Yeah.
So for the people, I assume, that have memberships in one of the clubs that are going to carry on staying, for them, the price might appreciate because there's a shortage of private clubs.
That's right.
And SICC, which is Singapore Island Country Club, where the membership start at 300,000 at this point, of course, historically it was lower, has about 17,000 members.
Yeah.
Which is a shit ton of people.
It is, yeah.
That's why golf has this air of like elitism around it. But when you read the article, were you like jumping for joy immediately, or like what was your feelings?
I mean, yeah, I guess like given what we saw that happened to Turf Club and horse racing and everything, it's almost inevitable that this will happen, right? That there'll be fewer golf courses in Singapore to be used for whatever purposes, housing and all. But I mean, subsequently, I think the subsequent articles that came out about the sport of what will happen to the sport of golf, right? And a little bit about the so-called the vibrancy or availability of activities in Singapore outside of the usual malls and all that. It made me question, like, is this a good thing for Singapore that everything is, our land space is starting to be devoted to national interests like housing and especially housing, right? Is that a good thing that for Singapore that this is happening?
And what was your conclusion?
No conclusion yet, but I think they raised good points that our golf scene, our fledgling golf scene, is pretty successful recently. Like a couple of young golfers have made their mark on overseas competition, international competitions. Like Shannon Tan, she won her second ladies European title recently.
Yeah.
And Hiroshi Tai, was the first Singaporean to play at the Masters, right? Doesn't really mean anything to me because I don't watch the sport of golf, but I'm sure, I mean, it sounds like this is at the highest level, right, of elite golf players. So, yeah, it's true. They won't have a place to practice anymore.
They will still have places,
They'll have
just
places like
less.
there's fewer but not just them. It's just for in the future when there'll be fewer people playing golf, or fewer young people in Singapore playing golf or interacting with golf or discovering golf for the first time. It does mean the sport becomes a bit more maybe only for the kids of elite families and all that, right?
Yeah. I mean, for me, there was a spectrum, because initially I was like, of course, let's close this big ass areas down I would still say at the end of it, I still think it's a good thing, but for a couple of reasons I think if you I tried to find any data I could find on the total land area occupied by these 16 golf courses. From what I could find online, it's about 1,072 hectares, which equals 10.72 square kilometers, 1.5% of Singapore's total land area. But, for more day-to-day analogies, it's about 1,500 football fields. And then, as much as, I thought, because I saw some accounts on Reddit point out something that I never thought about this way. They said previously the Mandai one, or currently Mandai one, it costs 38 for a round of golf. And they said that's even cheaper than going clubbing. Right. So then I was like, actually, there is this preconceived notion that golf is only for the ultra rich. But there is a public golf course. And I think that is something that everybody needs to understand, that there are people who still enjoy it. But I think at the end of the day, the area it takes up, is really a lot. And I think one of the more recently closed golf courses, the one at Marina, is now being turned into Gardens by the Bay, an extension of it. Bay East, right? Which to me, I'm like, because I remember that area. And it's now, you can actually walk there. And it's quite nice. Of course, there's a Founders Memorial where there's a whole other debate about that. But I was like, holy shit, this whole area existed that we never had access to. So at the end of the day, it's not cutting it down. The 12 golf courses are still big. So I still feel like, okay, I think I'm kind of pleased that this is happening. Overall.
I mean, from what I understand, it's happening in a lot of cities also, right? Not just in Singapore, but also Japan and Korea. And Koreans love to play golf, right? So generally, you probably have to travel further and further away from the main city, even if you want to partake in your golf session. And maybe we kind of have to accept that golf as a sport is just not made for Singapore. Just like how you wouldn't say snowboarding in Singapore is a possibility, right? It's just not made for Singapore. It's for people who go Hokkaido every February and go and ski and, take nice pictures with their friends and stuff like that, selfies or bikini selfies in snow, that kind of thing, right? It's just not a Singapore thing, right? You just don't think of it as such. And maybe golf is just like that, It's reached that stage where the scarcity of land in Singapore just does not afford us that luxury of playing golf. And with climate change also, the weather is so bloody hot. It's getting hotter and hotter and wetter and wetter. And there's not good conditions for golf either, right? So maybe it's just a paradigm shift in just how we think of golf as a sport that needs to exist in Singapore. But just like how we used to think horse racing was an institution here, but it's gone. And do you miss it very much?
But horse racing, I felt sadder.
You felt sadder for horse racing?
Because it's the only horse racing thing.
Okay.
If they shut down all the golf courses, then I think, okay, maybe that's a bit extreme. But then that's where I feel a bit conflicted. Just like 2 weeks ago, we were shitting on what Jeffrey Xiao said about a utilitarian approach to COEs and cars and land. And we were here like, why everything utilitarian? Where is the soul? But then in this case, the argument is utilitarian. It is making the best use of the land. Then I'm thinking, wait, am I being a hypocrite, Terence?
I thought of that too. But just remember that when they repurpose the land for something else, it wouldn't necessarily just be for housing only, for public housing. There's other things that
like the Bay East, the
Bay East Garden, for example. So it gives you, it is not utilitarian, but it allows you to access parts of Singapore and do things that you never used to be able to do, right? And I mean, the example I can think of is the night safari. You think on a night safari, the night safari, I think we covered this on a Tell You First episode, right? Where the land that the night safari sits on, it used to belong to the PUB and it was leased to the Singapore Zoo. And they were making plans of what they could use the land for before they decided on a night safari, before they even came up with the night safari. And some of the ideas included golf courses, fruit plantations, and other recreational facilities, and even a day safari. These were ideas that were floated, right? Only because the land was available for them to think of these ideas. And eventually, a consultant came up with the idea of a night zoo, and that's why we have the night safari today, right? So, yeah, we eliminate a golf course, but it doesn't mean that it restricts the activities that we can do in Singapore, right? We can think of other things that we can do that add some vibrancy to our landscape.
Yeah.
So and the only way that happens is if land frees up, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point, because I saw another Reddit thread where someone was saying a lot of these golf courses are in like damn far out of Singapore.
Yeah.
So if you turn that into housing, how is the infrastructure supposed to support it? But that one also I feel a bit unfair, because this is not going to be turned into housing overnight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it is the goal, I think, sounds like it, of the Land Transport Authority, of the government in general, to make everywhere in Singapore as accessible. I mean, now, anytime you go past the center of Singapore, you look at the construction that's being done for the Cross Island line. It's insane, man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, that is a huge-ass project. So when I see comments like that, I'm like, but that's kind of like a chicken and egg thing, right? You're saying that this thing is so far out, and that's why it won't be accessible, so just leave it as it is.
Yeah.
Which also is like, but then you can turn it into like a nature reserve or park. I mean, Bay East, on one hand, you can argue that the utility for golf players has decreased, but the utility for the average Singaporean has gone up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You get to access this part, and it's actually very nice. There's a breakwater that's facing like the sea and parts of Gardens by the Bay. So yeah, this one, and I think the land area is really damn big, lah. Because when the person brought up the analogy of like clubbing, people spend a lot of money on many things. I think the cheapest membership you can get is like 9K.
Yeah.
So let's say you sign up for, I don't know, like High Rocks training or something. That's damn X.
Yeah.
But the space it takes is a lot smaller.
Yeah, correct.
These golf courses are huge.
Yeah. And I'm all for finding creative ways to repurpose land that otherwise wouldn't, allow people to live there or what. Like, next to the Changi Airport, the whole Jurassic Mile is that walkway. It's a damn strange thing, I think. It's right next to the airport, then suddenly you turn right, and then it's like dinosaur. For like 1 km, you walk up and down, it's like dinosaur models. But it's like, that's what makes things Singapore unique in that way, right?
It's a bit odd. Why?
And you're like, because they couldn't build anything there, and they might as well just let people walk and then put something they can look at as well. And it becomes a thing that people bring their young kids to and all that, right? So, yeah, I'm actually okay. I don't think we are losing, like what you said, it's not like horse racing where we lost everything.
Yeah.
This one, we are losing some of it, but the truth is there are options to go to Malaysia or other countries to golf as well, if you're really into it, right? Yeah. So I do feel like overall, like our landscape can become a bit more interesting, more vibrant if we find other ways to repurpose the land as well.
So then the argument about the sport will suffer?
The sport will suffer. But golf in itself, you already raised the point that it's really for people who can afford it, afford a membership and everything to access it, right? Unless they really go through the public system and all. So it's really a bit like tennis, right? Tennis, they always talk about tennis as a very self-selecting sport, right? Not everyone can get into it. And famously, some of the top tennis players in the world, Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer last time, they came from really quite privileged backgrounds also, right? Okay, maybe not Federer, but Nadal, I know he came from privileged background and all that. But it's a certain level of income that allows them to have access to these places and to play tennis. Of course, Djokovic bucks the trend, but that's a different story also. But I would say, in that sense, the sport of golf might just not be something that fits into Singapore's long-term plans. But I can see creative ways that we can still nurture sports and all. And over the weekend, I checked out Trifecta, that place in Orchard.
Yeah.
And those who don't know, Trifecta is like this place where you can try out surfing, you can try out snowboarding, and also skateboarding in a very controlled environments. Like there's a wave pool, and then there's like a fixed ski slope and everything. So I went there and checked it out, thinking that it'll be damn lame and all. But okay lah. But I went there, and then the place has a vibe, right? It wasn't very crowded when I went, but it has a vibe of like, that surfer kind of vibe going on, snowboarder kind of vibe. A little bit of it. It takes a little bit of that from all the different sports. And it's just an entry point for young people to come and try the sport or hone their skills if they've done it. But if they really want to pursue it hardcore, they got to go max major and go overseas and practice lah. And maybe that's just the reality for golf also now. Yeah.
And I mean, maybe the entry point for golf, they should have more driving ranges. And then you pair that with people being pissed off at like cost of living and stuff, right? So it's like a rage room. You go there, you can whack the ball and they give you targets.
Yeah.
Like inflation, GST, turbocharge, and you just whack the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But I think it is more really that it is the reality, like what you said, like, because when they kind of really enforce, building those metal railings at void decks so people cannot play football, HDB void decks. That one in some way is taking away the spaces for football people, talent to develop lah.
Yeah.
But that one also, I think it's the nature of Singapore lah. We are always hearing the fact that, rent is expensive because Singapore is a small country. Unfortunately, these sort of things will also need to be subject to the same thing lah. And I think, the biggest thing is I think golf is just the amount of area it takes and the number of people that can benefit from it, right?
Yeah.
It's a bit too disproportionate lah.
A bit lah.
So the people who say, okay, the sport will suffer and all, there's got to be a new center of excellence that will be built. You still have 12 golf courses. I don't know what the waiting line is to get a tee time but it doesn't feel like, it's cutting you off at the legs lah. So it is the reality lah.
Yeah, correct lah.
And maybe it's being phased out gradually. I think the earliest one will expire in 2026. So still got time lah. Still got time.
But I guess it's quite peculiar. But I see a lot more like influencers picking up golf these days around Singapore and all. And I'm just like, why is it so lah, right? There definitely is a upmarket feel that golf has lah, right? And with the upmarket feel is the spending power of the consumer as well. So
exclusivity also.
Yeah, so Adidas Golf and all, they're looking for these influencers to sponsor them and all. And then I think there are these golfing events that happen in Singapore as well, and then the international golfers come down. So in that sense, it's something. It adds something to the Singapore scene. But I think maybe the idea is just that we cannot have so many lah. We just can't afford to have so many.
Golf also I think is getting a bit more popular because, to be honest, it's getting thirsty lah.
You speaking for yourself or what?
Okay, I have chanced upon thirsty golf posts on social media.
Oh, chanced upon.
Chanced upon. I have chanced upon. And when things start to become thirsty, then it is hitting the trend lah.
Yeah. Almost encouraging.
You telling me you never seen thirsty golf posts?
Not.
It
came from no. So I quite specifically remember it comes from influencers that I've already been following.
Exactly.
Then suddenly they're picking up golf. Then I'm like, why? Why suddenly like every one of them seems to be picking up golf at the same time?
And the posts are thirsty lah, right?
They make the post thirsty.
Exactly.
So my point is I didn't chance upon them lah. I just pointing out that I didn't chance upon them. They already came from people that I was following.
We are talking about two sides of the same coin. I chanced upon them because I see their content and it was by chance. I saw a thirsty golf post.
Okay.
Sounds like the same case as you.
Just clarifying. Just clarify. I won't use the euphemism of chancing upon it. Yeah,
of course, I have been following them. Upon it.
I've been following them because I'm interested in the work that they do as KOLs and all. Because we're in the same line. Yeah,
exactly. But as the algorithm is just basically chance after chance after chance after chance.
That's the excuse you use every day.
I chanced upon it.
I didn't ask for this.
But yeah, that's when you know that it's moved past the old uncles and aunties in the polo t-shirt tucked in and all. So it's now like cool already.
Does it make you feel like maybe you want to pick it up?
Not really.
Wear nice clothes.
Like driving range, I remember was fun because that one you just whack and like. But the whole thing about golf has never appealed to me.
Yeah.
Never appealed. I've had some friends who said, trust me, you pick it up, you will learn to enjoy it. And maybe enjoying it is like, you go with a group of friends, it's like a full day thing. Yes, you're looking at greenery and stuff, you can drive a little buggy. So elements of it can be fun. Yeah, nah.
Yeah. I mean, the skill element of it, I'm sure it's there, right? But the other thing about Singapore is just the heat and everything. I just can't imagine like just spending all my time out there in the outdoors under the sun and having to wear like, long pants and everything to look the part or so. Just feels like torture. Of course, if you're next to one of your influencer friends and then all ha-haing
thirsty with the sweat,
drinking champagne and all that and taking selfies, of course, maybe different, right? But I think it's just as a sport, a bit difficult.
Yeah, a bit difficult.
But then, I mean, just as a related thing, how do you feel about like pickleball taking over tennis courts? Because that's happening in a lot of places.
Taking over tennis courts means that it's open for booking, but you can book it for...
No, that means tennis courts are being converted into pickleball courts instead. And there are people, tennis purists and all, who are like...
What you mean public tennis courts?
No, I mean, not public, but just in general, like even in country clubs and stuff like that. Or even in like people's condos and stuff. Sometimes they have converted the tennis courts to pickleball courts. Yeah, because pickleball, like what you said, is just so much more accessible, popular, young and old can play. But the tennis purists are like, yo, I need space to strike my forehand. I need to do my top spin properly and all that.
Oh, there can be like a dual use kind of thing with the lines in different color or something.
Can, but because pickleball is so much more popular, a lot of people, it gets booked out fast, and then tennis courts is like a bit less accessible, right?
Yeah, I mean that one. Wow, it's a new sport. It's not being replaced by something else. That one. What? I want a bit more grey. Because even like where I stay, the badminton court, the estate badminton court, is being used more by pickleball players.
Yeah, correct.
But I mean, I don't know. Like I think also saying cannot be a new sport. That one also a bit tough. Like what do you think of that?
Maybe need to evolve with the times also. A lot more young people will be playing pickleball, or their first entry into racket sports will be pickleball and not tennis or badminton or one of those. And kind of got a roll of it also, right? Yeah.
I tried pickleball for the first time last Friday because my wife's company was having a competition this week. So borrowed a paddle and just did a bit. I mean,
it's very different from tennis, right?
It's a lot easier,
Yeah.
It's like ping pong,
Yeah. Like ping pong, but bigger space and bigger ball. Right? Yeah.
And I was telling my wife, hey, can I come play or not? Because I think I can help you win.
Typical overbearing husband. Who thinks the wife cannot do anything herself. Can't you just go there and support and just be like,
I play with her and then
I bet even when you support her, you still go to the side and shout at her, right? How are you doing?
No, I was very supportive. During the testing.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, if any golf brands are listening to this, maybe we'll be open to try out to understand why golf is so exciting, and we'll take a lot of thirsty selfies.
As many as you want.
Yeah,
thirsty pre-roll ad also can.
Yeah.
Thirsty podcast also can.
Correct.
But yeah, man.
The golfers aren't the only ones irritating people. There are also other groups of people who, irritate people on their day-to-day commute to work, right? But apparently seems to be getting better.
Yeah. And it is the people who are being deemed to flout new rules that are kind of like being enforced on public transport. So basically, as of December last year, there was updated conditions of carriage that have been displayed on trains and buses, and apparently almost every train and bus. I haven't noticed it at all. And it is signs that suggest, implore people to keep the volume low, occupy only one seat, and to not sit on the floor. And in the standard, like, don't bring food onto the train, it's a red circle with a line across.
Yeah.
And apparently, like, over 160 offence notices have been issued since anti-nuisance signs have been put up on public transport. So, between December 2024 and May 2025, the number of offences recorded was 4 times higher than in the preceding 6 months from June to November 2024.
Yeah.
So, I assume that between June to November 2024, there were no signs. So, with the signs, there are 4 times as a number of offences recorded.
Yeah.
So you can receive a notification of offence. You can get fined up to Singapore $500, and more serious offences like soiling any part of the railway premises, I guess inside and outside the train, can result in up to 5,000 lah. Fine. And then this CNN article talked about some passengers who were interviewed saying the journeys have been noticeably quieter. Some say no difference.
Yeah.
But I wasn't aware that these signs were going to be put up. I haven't even noticed anything.
Yeah. I was just on the train just now.
Yeah.
In my carriage, there wasn't this sign. Then I went to the next carriage and I saw it was on the next carriage.
Oh, so you saw the... Oh, so it's not on every carriage.
But it's not... It wasn't... Yeah, it's not on every carriage. And yeah, maybe they need to implement further by putting it in every single carriage.
But then how you feel about it's another thing, you cannot do this, cannot do that. Because I, as a student, was totally guilty of sitting on the floor multiple times.
Yes, occupying only one seat or more than one seat.
Oh no, because we never get seat.
Oh, okay.
So me and my friends, and going to school every day, we'll start in Tampines, and then along the way to school, we'll pick up our friends. I think up to 7 people sitting on the floor.
Confirm noisy also, right?
No, because morning we just sleep.
Oh,
okay. But probably annoying lah.
Yeah. I mean, sitting on the floor, definitely have done it lah. Definitely.
You got pee on the train?
No, pee on the train. No.
Sit on more than one seat?
When there's a lot of empty seats around, right? I mean, not say sit, but maybe put my bag or something. In this case, the picture they show a guy who's lying down on the seats. I think that's really egregious, right?
Which we have seen happen more often.
And putting their feet up in places where their feet shouldn't be. I think that's what's annoying when people occupy seats like that, right? Keeping volume low, I mean, that's a big bugbear for a lot of people, right? Because there are a lot of boomers who watch dramas by using the speakers on their phones and they don't use headphones.
Is it a bugbear for you?
It's annoying, yeah. It's annoying. I definitely...
I don't want to get them triggered.
Yeah, and I just remember how in Japan, when I was younger and I traveled in Japan, I was like, oh, I'm so thankful that people are so conscious of noise levels in Japan. It's really in the library that when you take the train and it's so quiet and all. But when I went there as a parent of a young child, then I was like, oh shit, it's so scary to travel in a train with a young child in Japan. Because if they start flipping out or making a lot of noise, in a very innocent way, not even running around disrupting people or what, but just asking about things and all, then everyone still gives you the same stare, the same glare.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you make noise. So it made me quite stressed when I was traveling in Tokyo with a young child back then.
Oh.
So that's something I didn't think about. Although we all think that having everyone being really quiet and all is good, but there are people for whom this rule makes life very stressful.
But I wouldn't want that quiet. The quiet in Japan, because I remember last time I was going out with a bus, I was on my phone. The bus driver told me you have to turn off phone.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Extreme quiet, I don't like.
Yeah.
That's why now even if you take the electric buses, right? Yeah. The public buses, it's damn quiet.
Because of the no engine.
So when you stop at traffic light, you can literally hear what people are talking.
I see.
I don't like it absolutely quiet, but I am damn triggered by people who watch with loud volume and speak loudly. That one, I cannot take it.
So you think a rule like that, keep volume low, is a good thing to aspire towards? So
then it becomes the same question, how many rules we need?
But you say you are triggered by people.
That's what I don't know how to feel. Because it's this kind of thing, okay, yeah, it's good. It's like the tray thing. We need to have a fine to tell us to return trays.
But it's such a pleasant experience to eat now.
Exactly. Yeah. But then it's of course you don't want people to act freely. There is a rule of law. But sometimes this one, I'm okay, I'm happy it's there, but it doesn't feel right. It feels wow, we need these sort of things to kind of fucking tell us to just keep the volume lower. So that's why I'm always conflicted. It's when we were talking about the footpaths also, right? The cycling path. It's everything, we have always been made fun of as being a fine city. But now it's suddenly the past few years is boom. A lot more.
But maybe they don't have a choice because if you recall, they had this very big campaign, Back Down Benny and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Where this basically a campaign where SMRT was using certain cartoon icons or what, cartoon characters.
Stand Up Stacey
to encourage more considerate behavior from commuters, right?
Yeah.
So I remember clearly Back Down Benny was one of them, where basically they encourage commuters to put their bag down if you're carrying a very big backpack on the train. And what was the next one you said?
Stand up, Stacey.
And what was Stand Up Stacey about?
Offer a seat.
Oh yeah, offer a seat to someone who needs it more than you. Stand Up Stacey. I remember those ads were derided quite a bit, right, in the online space.
Yeah.
And I mean, do you feel they've been very effective in changing behavior?
No, I think it's just like a meme. So for the full shebang, the Stand Up Stacey, Move In Martin, Give Way Glenda, Back Down Benny, Hush Hush Hannah.
Yeah.
What the fuck did Hush Hush Hannah do?
Do it keep volume low?
Did she do
she keep volume low Vanna. That's who she actually is. Volume low Vanna. Yeah.
Hush Hush Hannah. You're so quiet, you didn't even make any difference.
So no choice, that didn't work. So you're Singaporeans, you all don't respond
nice,
well. Yeah, we try to be nice, cute cartoon characters.
Hush Hush Hannah.
Yeah.
But no, don't.
Sorry, you have to give you a fine, then you can listen. So maybe next time it'll be like, if you carry your bag onto the MRT, you get fined also, right?
No, maybe that should be the first instance. There should have been tray return Tammy. Then failing which, then we cannot complain. Because now you're right. They tried to be nice, but cannot.
But we never got tray down Tammy. So that's a sad part. We never got it.
Tray return Tammy. Should have given her a chance.
For PMDs also, we didn't have those cute cartoon characters. Like Slow Down Sammy or something. Wow.
Slow down Sammy.
Yeah. We didn't get all these characters.
So then you go straight to fine. So maybe that one, this one, I totally forgot about this. Yeah. It shows their effectiveness, but they gave us a chance.
We did not respond well, and now we pay the price for it. Yeah. So, okay. I mean, I agree with you that the big one that really does stand out to me is the sitting on the floor thing. Because, there's that whole thing about a lot of people also scoff at NSmen or NSFs when they, after booking out, they sit down the reserve seat for what do you call it? Sorry, not the reserve seat.
That one is president.
So I mean, sitting on the floor is
priority seat.
But sitting on the floor sometimes you just had a really long, tiring day, and then standing even. I remember there were points after army, or I can't remember what, after army or what, like taking the train. I was so tired that I would be falling asleep while standing and nearly like...
your knees buckle.
Yeah, your knees buckle and everything. So at that point, you would rather a person just sit down, right?
Yeah.
And rather than suffer through standing like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't know, man. The sitting on the floor one, just because understanding what our kids and our NSFs go through, I do feel that one a bit much.
Yeah, and but I mean, so online there were some people pointing out the same thing that we were talking about the electric, the bicycles and all. How is this going to be enforced?
Yeah,
because in the CNA article, there were I think only 1 out of 6 said that it's noticeably quieter. Some people say there's no difference. But on one thread I found online, there was a security person who shared his or her perspective, saying that it might not stop the person, but it allows the other people to know that they can kind of give a nudge. It's almost like you're telling other Singaporeans or anyone there, it's okay to kind of point out to them that they're being noisy because it says. Yeah. Which also feels like very infantile, but maybe that's the way we want.
Yeah.
You know how many years the government gave us stand up, Stacey?
How many?
10 years. They didn't do shit.
Yeah. Correct.
So now stand up Stacey all phased out.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's a good point that it allows people to we come to a consensus on what acceptable behavior is on the train, and it allows you to, if you see someone doing something, you don't have to get in a fight with them or take out your phone and get ready to record a fight.
Yeah.
You just maybe tap their shoulder and just point to the thing.
Yeah.
And I've seen it a lot in Japan. Anytime someone does some kind of behavior that's not very not illegal but not acceptable, they don't confront you in a very confronting way. They like to do this hand gesture where they those who can't see, I'm holding up my hands a little, I'm curving my hands a little bit, I'm petting a ball in front of me, right? And they approach you and then they're oh, sumimasen, like that. And they come like that and then sumimasen, then they'll tell you, you cannot do this. Or they cross their hands to say, you cannot do this. And I found it a very effective and passive aggressive way of like just telling you to shut the fuck up, you know. But they say so nicely, sumimasen, and then you're like, okay, fine. Yeah.
So you prefer the passive aggression with backed up by a sign?
Backed up by a sign, yeah. I think also maybe it's good that we Singaporeans, or these people living here, become a bit more
okay with confrontation.
Not necessarily confrontation. That's the thing. Don't confront, but okay with pointing out, telling people, hey, your behavior not very acceptable, please do better, right?
So they need a sign where we got red circle, someone telling another person, and everyone got tick.
Yeah, please do that.
Please do that. Please tell the people above, you tick. Then you even given approval. But then, okay, you know, like standing on the left of escalators, are there signs for those? Because that somehow over the past 10 years
has become the norm, right?
Yeah, and I just wonder how.
There was a campaign to get people to stand.
There was.
I remember quite clearly. I was also trying to figure it out. I think when I first got back home to Singapore after spending some time overseas.
There was a stand on the left campaign.
Yeah. What year was it? Do you remember? You have it?
Let me see. Stand on the left campaign.
Yeah.
2020.
So recent. I was thinking like 15 years ago.
Oh no, that's for pedestrians.
Pedestrians, yeah.
Stand on the left and riding our escalators.
Yeah.
That was also a post on 2020.
Okay. But I mean, it's true. I remember recently we were walking to lunch, and then we came across the road that divided into pedestrians and cyclists only.
Yeah.
And we kind of were like just looking left, looking right to see if like people would actually follow. And the cyclists did.
Yeah,
the cyclists did. So I was like, oh, that works.
Because they saw us looking at them.
Yeah. And we just like made a row and made sure that no cyclists can get past it. So sometimes you need this social, like these parameters for people to social engineer your population, right?
Yeah. So maybe we are a social engineering nation.
Correct.
Little nudges.
Yeah.
Little nudges. And that's Singapore.
But I think because there's a lot of rage online towards immigrant population also, right? About, and a lot of it is about their behavior in public spaces.
Yeah.
Maybe they really do need this to make sure that everyone's on the same page, and to make sure that if people want to complain about something, it's a legit complaint as well, right?
Yeah. And maybe that's the way we have to operate,
correct. Yeah. It reminds me of that time when I think you and I were taking a train, and then we saw someone, I think an undergarment of hers was exposed or something like that. And there was a price tag that's still hanging off the undergarment. And we were having a very big debate about whether we should tell the person, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, in my mind, I was like, of course you should tell, because if it was me, I want someone to tell me that I got some crap on my shirt or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And I think you were a bit more like, maybe not, right?
Yeah.
And we went ahead and did it anyway.
Yeah.
I think the person was very taken aback, right, by us doing it. But when I consulted, because she's a female, when I consulted with other women about how we should have done it, maybe we should have informed another woman to tell her, rather than two men go and tell her yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because that would just feels very intrusive and creepy.
Yeah. So I'm glad you said it on the record, because my concern was exactly that. Like two guys going up to a girl saying, hey, there's an undergarment with a price tag still there.
I mean, your bra, basically, the price tag was still on your bra, right? Yeah. You might just want to...
But are you saying if there was a sign, then you can be...
underwear.
Don't display price.
It would be better. It'd be easier, right?
It'd be easier. That's true.
You don't seem so creepy, and you're just like, you're looking.
So we did like a catalog of signs, of signs.
Yeah.
So that was a big learning experience. But yeah, man.
And that's Singapore, man.
That's Singapore. No
getting more crowded, people more like less space for everyone. So we got to kill golf courses. We got to train people.
Train people
to work together.
Now all about training artificial intelligence, right? This one's still training real intelligence. We're also training real intelligence.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, cool. Right. And what about your One Shiok comment, man?
Let me just pull mine up. What is your One Shiok comment?
My one is an email that we got. So, I mean, it's email, so I won't give the name out. But very, very sweet email. That they've been listening to us since episode 463, where we talked about the Void Deck football ban, how apt. The episode came up as a suggested podcast while I was gardening hands dirty, could not press next or skip. So I listened in, and that was it, man. I was hooked. I've listened to every episode since. And I mean, this person lives in Tasmania.
Tasmania.
Yeah,
Wow.
so lived in Australia for almost 15 years. The last link they have to Singapore. Nice to be able to keep up with things that go back home, and highly appreciate the good old humor. So yeah, he or she has lived in Australia. They now live in Tasmania.
Yeah.
And they make the 32-hour drive up to Queensland and back a couple of times a year for work.
Wow.
They work in a prison as a nurse.
Wow.
So yeah, we keep them company. They've introduced us to the partner, who is not even from Singapore, but yeah. Thanks for listening. And like, I think we've had someone else from Tasmania email.
Yes.
But yeah, every time
definitely.
listening to someone from abroad tell us that we help them, be connected to Singapore, well, that's great, man. That's great. Makes our day to hear that.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
I mean, quite similar. So mine was a message from a listener who, said that they enjoy our topic selections and how our rapport keeps vibes and conversations real. The way we talk helps to digest issues and perspectives without feeling like being scammed by media. Yeah, thanks for our perspectives and making me laugh. Always a good listen while driving to and fro from work.
Solid. Solid.
So I do feel like the trust in media has been going down a lot in recent times. So we try to make up for that.
Yeah, and good to know that people appreciate it.
Yeah.
Cool. And what about your One Shiok Thing, man?
My One Shiok Thing is a video from the creator Becca Versace, who I think I've had One Shiok Things on before. She used to be a journalist, a video journalist with The Verge. Then she came out and has started her own YouTube channel. Also, she is doing a project where she's going to bike 450 miles in the US on a solar-powered bike. And this is just the intro video, right? But it's really quite interesting because she enlisted the help of another science YouTuber who has helped her set up solar panels on her bicycle and calculated how much solar panels she needs to power an e-bike for, to travel that long a distance. So it ends up being quite ridiculous. She's like driving an e-bike with maybe, I don't know, like 7 meters of solar panels behind her. But maybe not 7, maybe 5 meters of solar panels behind her. But it looks kind of ridiculous, but it looks like the kind of thing that I think it would be awesome to do.
And she's riding where?
Yeah, just across the US. I can't remember exactly where, and if she's doing, I'm not sure if she's doing it for a campaign. This was the introduction to it and how she set it up, but it's just ridiculous because like she shows how she has to fold up all the, she bought all the solar panels from Amazon, and then they had to do a calculation of how much the energy they need to power the e-bike and everything. So I think it was sponsored by the e-bike, but she's just going nuts with this whole solar powered e-bike thing. And it's just quite funny because it's like, imagine like pedaling around with 5 meters of solar panels behind you.
Actually, like, yeah, I mean, doing something like that, maybe that should be our next thing.
Yeah, for climate change and everything.
Yeah.
We should go around Singapore.
I mean, technically, the last one was really like carbon friendly because it was an electric bus.
Yeah,
but it's not front and center.
Yeah, it's different when you're taking energy from the environment and empowering you going around. Imagine a whole podcast studio powered by like nothing but solar or nuclear power or something. Wow, that'd be crazy.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, now apparently got some developments in tritium and all that. Like nuclear fission and all that.
Okay.
So, but that's not my One Shiok Thing.
I see.
My One Shiok Thing is, I mean, I chanced upon a video of someone that maybe has been my One Shiok Thing like way back, but just resurfaced again. It is Reggie Watts. And I mean, he's someone who is a musician, but his music, right? If you haven't been listening, like maybe since 300 episodes ago, I think I mentioned him before. He does this thing called like looping, and he makes instrument noises with his voice, and he sings songs that sound like legitimate songs, but the lyrics are all gibberish. And to me, he's a genius. And I think the one I saw was something he did at NPR Tiny Desk. He's also given a TED Talk before, which is just him making up songs on the spot almost and creating tunes on the spot. And he's just he's super funny lah. So I love the dude lah,
Nice.
Reggie Watts. And I mean, another one of my One Shiok Things, Mark Rebier, has cited, Reggie Watts as like an inspiration also lah. So, and they ended up jamming together. So yeah, this kind of people lah, solid lah, solid.
Wow.
Solid. But
Nice.
yeah, man, cool.
Blast from the past.
Blast from the past.
Yeah.
Many things I chance upon.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Amongst others.
Amongst others.
Amongst other influences.
Yeah, but yeah. So still got one more episode coming out this week.
Yeah.
And yeah, remember tomorrow, Thursday, we are launching something exciting. So sign up to our newsletter if you haven't.
Yeah.
Follow us on social media if you want to see other excerpts.
Get on Reddit and talk to other people, talk to other listeners as well.
Yeah, tell at least one person who may not have heard of us.
Yeah.
And if you want to work with us,
write to us at contact@ministryoffunny.com or just check out ministryoffunny.com.
Solid. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll talk to you all soon.